Please remember to like, subscribe and comment, as we love to hear back from our viewers. Also, if you enjoy our videos, please consider becoming a patron of our show through Patreon and or GoFundMe. Links are listed below the video in the description. From the deepest, darkest recesses of Dangerous Nerds headquarters, Keith Moncrief and Gerry Kissell.
Hey everybody, this is Gary.
And that's Keith.
And this is Pop Culture Minefield.
Boom!
Well, we have reached a very special episode today. This is our all Game of Thrones spoiler episode.
Yeah, we're going to spoil it. If you haven't seen it by now, it's freaking Wednesday.
Yeah.
If you have not watched it on DVR yet, that's your fault.
We
on you.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that enough of you got a chance to see it so that we can at least talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's different when it's a movie. I get it. It might take you a week. But this is a TV show, for goodness sake.
The TV show.
And if you have not DVR'd it and watched it by Wednesday, you're a terrible TV watcher. So that's not on us. That's on you. So here we go. We're going to talk about it because one of the biggest complaints Eric Brones had on the show was the darkness. And, you know, this is a $15 million budget TV show. It's not as much as Star Trek Discovery, but it's still pretty damn high. And they're making it now because we're into the battle episodes. So it's now an hour and a half per episode. And it's like a freaking movie. And after watching Endgame, and I went home, and then I watched Game of Thrones, that was an exhausting freaking day. Emotionally, I was dried out. I couldn't cry anymore. I was so worn out watching those things. And I got to tell you, Game of Thrones started out with the darkness. And for a $15 million budget episode, I thought that was a mistake. Another mistake I felt they made, they really needed a military tactician. Because they made things that they did things in there that made no sense in actual combat.
Mm-hmm.
But let's toss that aside. And let's just talk about the fun and the emotions. Wow, dude. We start out with her private guard.
Oh, yeah. Well, wait. Basically, last week's episode was pretty much just the last of the setting up. This is all nothing but just sweet.
The quiet before the storm.
Yeah. Sweet battle. I mean, this is the anticipation leading up to everything. And I think
the knighting of Brienne was awesome.
Yeah.
It's something I'd hoped that they would do.
Yeah.
They finally did it.
But now with this episode, I think one of your complaints was the fact that we could not see the enemy initially before the attack.
Well, I didn't mind the initial aspect of that, but
Yeah.
once you saw them, it should have been brought up.
Mm-hmm.
We should have had a plan to light up the battlefield so that the enemy couldn't hide. I mean, that would be tactically one of the things you want to do.
Yeah.
Because you can be seen, they can see you just fine. So you have given them an advantage by not being seen.
Mm-hmm.
Big mistake. Tactically, a huge mistake. Any battle leader would have known better than to do that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anybody, because I'll tell you right now, that's one of the things they talk about in the War College. When they start going over tactics, one of the first things is you have to level the playing ground. You have to. You have to find a way to take the advantage. And they, at no point did they ever try to really take the advantage until, and then there was this huge foobar moment where, you know, they're on the dragons in the air, but there's so much cloud cover, they couldn't see the guy with the torches, trying to give them the signal to light the trench. And here they come, they're coming. It's like, and there's no one to light the trench. And so finally, it took this heroic effort. Now, agreed, things go wrong in warfare. But this is something, again, tactically they should have prepared for.
Yeah, they brought up Marceline to light everything.
And it was her farewell. episode, really.
Yeah.
It was many people's farewell
Yeah.
episode.
She was expecting to die at that moment.
Yeah, she wanted to give it all to fix what she had done. Because remember, she had that redeeming moment before where she admitted, I was wrong. And so now the Red Witch got to come in and make good. But I loved how the other character who saw her give birth to that demon spawn never trusted her all the way to the end, but he was the one who watched her all the way to her last moment.
Yeah.
He stayed and watched. And I liked that. That was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
And then what are some other points for you?
For me, it was, I had always thought that since they did have two dragons and, the the Night King only had one, I just always thought it was interesting how you couldn't have at least worked it out to where you had one dragon take out a lot of the people in the front who were attacking, and the other dragon at least take out some of the people from the back. Catch them in between. I mean, obviously,
basically, it looked like a bunch of guys who had never gone into war before.
Yeah,
it was
very
really ridiculous. They didn't plan anything, and anything they did plan was set up to fail. And you're like, what were you doing?
And now, I will admit, for me, it was basically seeing Arya get a chance to use that special weapon that she had made.
She was the star of this episode. And she has been from day one of my absolute favorite characters.
Yeah.
Tyrion, of course, is my absolute favorite character. But she's number 2. The Hound is number 3. Brienne is number 4.
It was just an amazing episode to see a lot of standout performances. Again, Lady Mormont.
The library scene.
That was yours?
That was one of my favorite moments of it's a horror film. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, there's some really great horror in this film. And one of the great horror setups is the library scene, where she is the only person in this scene, and she's surrounded by the dead, and she's trying to work her... Arya is trying to work her way through the library. And I was just like, and I woke up my girlfriend like twice because she was already passed out. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm yelling, like, get the fuck out of here. No! What? And she'd wake up and go, you okay, baby? I'm like, stuff happened on Game of Thrones. And that scene was really intense for me.
Yeah.
But what I loved was, okay, did you react to the Hound giving up?
I did, but a lot of it having to do with the fact that it's a combination of, not just the dead, because, they're dead, but also all the fire.
Everything he's just been through.
Yeah.
And he hit this point where the guy's yelling for him, get up here. What's the point, mate? We're dead.
Yeah.
He said, this is over. We're not going to win. There's no way to win. And he's just standing there ready to quit. And then Arya comes flying down over the rooftop of the castle. And what does he do?
Yeah, he goes for it.
I was absolutely one of my favorite moments in the episode was when he will do anything for her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's probably the closest thing to a daughter he's ever going to have, so.
Well, there was this great line in the previous episode. She's, will you fight for anything or anyone? He's, I fought for you. Great line. And I think, that was kind of a foreshadowing.
Yeah.
That he would do what he did.
Yeah.
So, and we lost the one character. It was sad. His friend who dies and has been resurrected several times.
Yeah.
And he couldn't be resurrected anymore. This was it. This was his last life. One-eyed dude. I can't remember. I forget so many names on the show, but I love that show so much. I really do. I forget so many names. Because it's like War and Peace. There's so many characters. And I have trouble keeping up with their names. I just know who they are. But any other standout performances that you want to talk about? Like Tyrion and what's her name? Sansa, yep.
Again, Lyanna Mormont was my pick. But I picked her originally in my death pool to die for this episode. Because, again, it's strength of character and a purpose, but no fighting skills. And that's something important that you need when you're going to fight the dead.
Yep. Also, just a point, and this was pointed out not just by me. I've seen other people say the same thing, and it was the first thing on my mind. It's like, wait a minute. The safest place that you can think of, and you keep mentioning just how safe it is a crypt full of dead people, and your enemy is somebody who resurrects the dead. And I just kept, all of us were just waiting for it to happen. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, when it happened, it was like, yeah, it was really freaking cool. But at the same time, it was like, duh. But Tyrion showed great bravery. And I loved that he and Sancho Panza. Salsa.
Yeah, okay. What's her name?
The real pretty redhead that's in Phoenix that plays Jean Grey.
Oh, yeah, she lost her job.
Yeah, so she has that real good moment with him where they hold hands.
Mm-hmm.
And they accept the fact that they really do care about each other and that they're probably going to die together. And they have that look where they share that look between each other and held each other's hand. And I'm like, that was really good stuff.
Yeah,
man.
but they weren't going to go out like punks. They both had weapons.
Knives. Sticky knives. Got to be sticking things. And so it was like, that's it. They turned that corner and went to face what was coming. And ended up great save. I thought that was really cool. The ending, I'm telling you, I was expecting what happened to happen except for that one thing. I did not expect Arya. I did not expect her.
Yeah.
We got that moment where she just took off running and left the Hound and the Red Witch. Left them.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, where the freak is she going? We don't know where she's going. It doesn't matter, because you get a payoff later, because, and I was shocked by this, because I thought we were going to see the Night King go on longer.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was going to be like a 2 episode battle.
Mm-hmm.
And a poor Theon, what's his name? Theon Greyjoy, heroically gives his life.
I mean, he was fighting like, wow. You know, if he'd been fighting like that all during the series, he would have been higher on my list.
He'd still have his testicles and his penis. But, you know, and I love that moment just before he goes to sacrifice himself.
Yeah.
That the kid gives him the kudos and lets him know, you can leave this world knowing that you're a good man. You don't have to question it anymore. And he does. And the Night King, whose face has changed so much episode to episode over the years.
Yeah.
Because I don't think for a second it's the same actor.
It's not.
But they've changed his face so much that this iteration of the Night King walks up and I'm like going, there's no way this is the ending. What's going to happen next? And you got poor Jon Snow trapped by the blue flame ice dragon.
Yeah, Visioncon.
And it's like, oh my God, what is going to happen here? And the most shocking moment for me, no shit, and I yelled out and woke up my girlfriend again, as he's about to reach back and grab his sword to kill, what's his name? Bran. He's about to kill Bran in his wheelchair. Bran, that poor little kid who's just done nothing but suffer the whole series because he's crippled, physically crippled.
But he's the Three-Eye Raven.
But he is the Three-Eye Raven.
And that allows him to just drop knowledge like a boss.
Exactly. And so you see that knight, the Night King reaching for his sword on his back, and then over his back, fucking Arya comes flying and does the move that she established in season 3.
Yeah, I think it was season 3.
Where she learned to drop the blade into another hand. Because he caught her in midair. Like a badass. Because he's a badass. It's just and the reason why he didn't burn, because there's a scene where they try to burn him with the dragon's breath and it doesn't work. And I think that's because he's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not because he's a dead, but because he's related. He has their blood in his bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And so the dragon's fire didn't burn him. So here we see that final moment.
So you're saying he's a Targaryen?
Targaryen, yeah. I think he has Targaryen blood. And that's why he did not burn. And and that was something that's been brought up multiple times, that he was related to Jon Snow and the Starks. But I said I would be more interested because he's a dragon rider. It would only make sense that he has Targaryen blood in him, which is why he can ride a dragon and fight with a dragon.
Yeah.
So anyway, she drops down. He grabs her. He's got the hand with the knife. He's holding it and he's got her by the throat. And then she drops the knife in the other hand and stabs that bastard. Yeah. Over. Everybody, including their dragon, falls to the ground.
Even the recently resurrected, because there are characters that die in the episode.
It was so heavily impactful that Thanos died.
Wow.
In another movie.
Yeah. He dropped that. Basically, Arya saved the weekend.
Arya saved everything.
Yeah.
She's the hero.
Saved geekdom.
And I love that they made her, because she's really one of the coolest characters on the show. Period.
Great story.
As much as I love Tyrion more than her, she's still the single most interesting character on the show. She's had the most growth as a character on the show. The biggest story arc or character arc.
Yeah.
Amazing character. And that was just one hell of a payoff. But we lost a lot of people, in the process. Theron Greyjoy, Theron Greyjoy, Theon, whatever his name is. And we lost the Red Witch, finally. She deserved it. We lost the guard for... he died protecting her.
We lost Beric. We lost Edison. We lost Jorah. We lost Lyanna. We lost Marceline, Theon.
And because we don't see Brienne at the end, I was worried we lost her.
Yeah.
In that battle, because he got so thick you couldn't see what was going on.
Oh, jeez. Well, Jon Snow had to pass everybody. There's a lot of his friends that were in danger who he would normally help out.
His best friend, he left.
He had to.
He ran, saw him in need of help, and he had to keep moving because he had an objective. And he also has one of the best penned moments. It's one of those horror moments where he's running and he's trying to beat whatever's happening to kill the Night King.
Yeah.
But the Night King turns, looks at him, and puts his hands out again and just raises all of their own army.
That was an OS moment.
And he's in the middle of them, and you're like, holy, he was getting trapped left and right.
Well, he had no idea where he was, and he's done that before. Sometimes when he fights, he's got no idea where he's at.
Just keep going. I don't know where I'm at, but I'm moving forward. That's Jon Snow. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to keep doing it till somebody dies, even if it's me. And the Red Witch ain't there to save him anymore.
Yeah.
She can't resurrect him again. Even though he said not to resurrect him again. I tell you right now, they would. Against his will and wishes. But, my God, what an episode, dude. What an episode. Anything else stand out? I forget anything?
Well, from the way that the Red Witch, Marceline had predicted her death, you would have thought she would have went during battle, and all she did was just walk out the next day after the battle was over.
Battle's over, she walks out into the snow.
Takes off her enchanted necklace.
The thing that kept her young, that had the bloodstone in it.
And, yeah.
Just wandered, and you can see her from behind. Her clothes begin to fall off her. Her hair goes from red to white. And she just collapses in the snow dead. And what's-his-name watches, and... I thought that was one of the most touching moments of the episode film.
Yeah.
What? I'm telling you right now, if the series ended there, I'm fine. I could walk away from that series. But now we have got, 3 more episodes?
At least.
This is episode 4, and there's 8 this season, right?
Yeah, so this is...
We got 4 more episodes.
No. Only 6 episodes. So we have 2 more to go.
2 more to go. And all that's going to be dedicated to dealing with Cersei. And my prediction is still that Jaime's going to be the one that kills her. He has to. He has to correct what he's done. He has to face what he's done. Also, I knew the Hound wasn't going to die because the Hound hasn't had his revenge. But I said the only way that he would die would be if he knew that the revenge would be taken by Arya. That Arya would kill his brother, the Mountain. But now that she killed
The
Night King, it would be goofy to have her do him too.
Well,
so the Hound has to kill his brother.
Everybody's got it. Well, famous saying from an incredible movie, but everybody's got it coming.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I personally think the only reason why Arya survived this
It's
battle
from Unforgiven if you don't know.
is
You heathens.
is because she's going to meet her fate, the Battle of King's Landing. I think there is someone waiting for her there.
For Cersei?
No, for Arya.
Oh. Who do you think it is?
Well, it's unfinished business.
Oh, that bitch.
Well, no, that bitch is dead.
Yeah, I thought she was, yeah.
So who else would be waiting for her?
The monk teacher?
Yeah.
I didn't think he had unfinished business with her.
I
I know he's displeased with her.
He's very displeased with her. She left. Thus.
And took the training with her.
Took the training and a few faces.
Oh, that's right. She stole faces. So you think that he's going to be there, and that's going to be her.
Her Ragnarok.
Her come to Jesus battle.
No, I'm saying she's not going to survive it.
Oh, you don't think she'll survive it?
No.
I always thought she would be at least one of them that would survive.
Nope. Because of the whole thing, the setup with her training and how they left it. It wasn't like she left on good terms. So really, that's like a bullet fired from a gun from years before. It's gonna find her.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see that.
And he'll definitely strike at a moment when she's not expecting it.
When she thinks everything's done and finished and happy. Yeah.
Chances are it'll be either poison or she'll get stabbed or have her throat slit by someone who she thought she knew, and it turns out it was him.
Wow. Good prediction. I like that.
Well, that's the way they've set it up in the show.
And I've always believed that Tyrion won't die. I've always believed that he will survive and find something. Not happiness, but satisfaction.
He'll find a certain amount of satisfaction, but I think ultimately...
I think he'll end up with Sancho Panza.
Sansa? No.
You don't think so?
No.
I always thought they would.
No.
Because the way he treated her.
I think his talk with Bran, and now that Bran has survived, I think he's going to make more time to talk to Bran. And I think he's going to find out a few more things he doesn't want to hear. So...
Oh, that he's not actually a Lannister?
Among those things. But I think he's going to, knowledge to double-edged sword. And seeing how, Tyrion loves knowledge, it's not always the best.
He knows things,
yeah.
And he drinks.
And there's going to be a lot of that. I think ultimately what his character is going to end up doing is he'll live through it.
I think so, too.
But that's all he'll get out of it.
Because he's just simply a survivor.
Yeah.
It's what he does.
Yeah.
Other than knowing things and drinking. He survives.
He's going to learn a lot more. And he'll have to live with the rest of what he learns and what he sees.
Now, what do you think about Jon Snow's pudgy friend, that he is actually the narrator of the entire story?
I'm not surprised at all.
Because I've always suspected that he might be.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered, and then I saw some other people who felt it was the same thing,
but
especially working at the library.
But see, here's the thing. That could also work out a different way. Because we didn't actually see his girlfriend survive the whole encounter in the crypt.
In the crypts, that's right. We saw her.
She had her son with her.
We don't know what happened.
And if he gets another loss... Because, look, everything changed for him when he found out that his dad and especially his brother were dead. Ever since he got that news, he's been acting kind of differently. Because under normal circumstances, he wouldn't have been up there fighting. He would have been down in the crypt.
Yep.
He's got something to prove now. And I'm thinking that all of that is ultimately going to put him in a place to where he may ultimately end up doing something that he normally would not do, and he's going to die.
Yeah, because I saw on some of the death pools out there that he was high on the list of dying.
Yeah. I think he's got a good shot at dying, especially if she's already dead.
We've got to deal with what's going to the fallout from this battle, because remember we just said that Jon Snow ran by him. He saw Jon Snow look at him and then leave while he was fighting for his life. So what's going to be the fallout of that? Because those two are the best of friends.
Yeah.
So,
and especially if his girlfriend died.
Ooh, if that happened, I'm telling you, man. I'm looking forward to next week. That's all I know.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think Tyrion, if he does survive, might take his place and become the scribe for the sword.
See, that's what I had originally thought was him.
Yeah.
I always thought that he was the narrator of our story.
He very well still could be.
All right. Oh. With that, I guess we've come to the end of another episode.
Mm-hmm.
Pop Culture Minefield. But before we go, please smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you get updates. Post a comment if you want us to talk about something.
Bring us a nice question.
You want to call me a dickhead? I love that. I love being insulted. My friends, my closest friends, insult me all the time, and I like that. It's just the way I was raised. I'm former military. The nicest thing that you can say to somebody is "you fucking retard." I'm serious. I'm not saying that to be offend anyone. That's what we would say to each other in the Army, and it's a form of affection. It is. I don't understand it either. It just is. But with that, again, this is Keith.
That's Gary.
And it's Pop Culture Minefield, and we're out of here. You have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.